Greetings to everyone out there in the YouTube land. I'm Ahmed Hassanin, and I just want to give a shout out to Coach Dan. Thank you for all the support you show the team and the players. Everyone hit the like, subscription button, and yell woo in the comments. Thank you, and go Lions.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your momentary host, Dan O'Damas, and I am here to foretell the events of Monday Night Football when the Lions of Detroit take on the buckless, teethless people from Tampa Bay, Florida, by the way, not Tampa Bay, somewhere else. But anyways, I've spent much time this week analyzing what the tea leaves have told me, what the squirrels have spoken to me. And the squirrels are all knowing and wise, as we all know, as they get ready to run off into hibernation for the winter. But anyways, as the squirrels have foretold to me and the tea leaves of destiny have seen to me, I will see none other than Dave Montgomery score once, twice on the ground. I will see as Taylor Decker will come back and will catch a touchdown in the red zone for the Detroit Lions. And the Detroit Lions defense, much maligned, much beat up, will rise to the occasion and help the Detroit Lions record a 37-34 victory on Monday Night Football. And many people in the NFL front offices will try to call down on the field, but Ford Field will have blocked all calls from New York on this game. So you know what? They can't call down and change any scores in this game. I am Dan O'Damas. I have foretold the future. And one last bonus thing. Jared Goff will run for 7 yards this game. Mwah! Well, thank you. And thank you, Dan O'Damas, for making a little time out of your busy schedule to once again come on over and tell everybody in the Dew Crew what's going to happen this Monday Night Football game. Hey, we all get it. It's going to be a big one because it's the last one before the Lions go on the bye. And you got the number one team currently in the NFC facing somebody on their heels, and that's the Detroit Lions trying to catch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's going to be a big one. You know the NFL is going to market it. They have marketed it. You got Baker Mayfield, the wide receivers of Tampa Bay, a little beat up. Mayfield's going to have to work some magic to keep his team going. Opposite side of it, Detroit Lions, you know what? We're not sure who's going to start in the secondary. Perhaps we'll get a couple guys back. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but it is set up to be an epic showdown between these two franchises on Monday Night Football. Hey, real quick, before we get into the main topic of the day, before we get into the 5 headlines now, and everything in between, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 101 sub away from hitting 14,400. So if you can help out with that, man, I surely would be thankful. Also, if you have a half second of time, it won't cost a dime. Reach on down, left, up, wherever it is on your screen. Hit the thumbs up button, the like button. Hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 2, 3, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last, but most certainly never least, if you are perhaps in the greater Oakland County area, are you looking for window cleaning, your home washed, gutters cleaned, holiday lights hung up? Ooh, that's a big one this time of year. Visit CustomShineWindowCleaning.com or call Tom and McKenzie, members of the Dew Crew, by the way, at 248-363-1911. They've been serving greater Oakland County since 1997. Give them a call, shoot them a text, talk to them about all the phenomenal services they can bring forward to you. All right, with all that done, set out of the way, let's get the show rocking, rolling, and going, kicking off with 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines. And you know what? I almost thought about doing a breaking news story on something else the NFL has done towards the Detroit Lions in the last 24 hours. But man, oh man, the NFL, they have not had a good week. We'll just say that. Maybe we'll save it for another time. All right, let's get to some Detroit Lions non-breaking news stuff for a moment. Detroit Lions cornerback and defensive tackle return to practice Friday. SI.com, story by Johnny Macaron. Hey, we need all the bodies back we can get on defense. Yeah, I get you're starting to have some PTSD about all the things that we saw last year, replicating themselves this year, even though it's a little bit different. But, hey, good news. We did have a breaking news story on it yesterday. Terrion Arnold did return to practice at a limited capacity, but he was back. If he's out there today and the Lions will have a walkthrough, it won't be anything horribly physical, I think that's pointing towards him playing on Monday night. And this would be a massive pickup for the Detroit Lions. You guys get it. I get it. The Bucs, they're short-handed at wide receiver. The Lions are short-handed at the cornerback or secondary personnel. Getting T.A. back would be a big step forward in helping the Lions secure this win. Would also give Kelvin Shepard a whole lot more flexibility what to do in that last half of the defense. While he may be back, one of the downsides for the Lions is DJ Reader. Limited practice yesterday with a back situation. This has emerged in the last 24 hours. Sounds like he's got a strained muscle in his back. And for a guy his size, especially playing the DTI, that's a big issue. Now, they've got a couple more days to try to rest that thing up, recuperate it. But all Lions fans are going to want to pay attention to this. If there's a positive side to this, we all know Aleem the Dream McNeil is going to return this game. So maybe they can take DJ Reader's snap count down while adding in McNeil. I don't know. This can be a fluid situation and probably one that will play up until Monday when the coaches will then have to make a choice going into Monday Night Football. What are they going to do with Reader? Are they going to rest him? Is he going to be good to go? Lions fans everywhere are going to be paying attention to this one because this is going to be another level of injury concern, worry for the Lions defense, which is starting to show some signs of fatigue. All right, going to the next 5 headlines now. Detroit Lions aim for more backfield balance and touches for a veteran running back. Ben Raven, MLive.com with this one. Just about everybody in the Duke crew last week had the same question. What the heck happened to Dave Montgomery? Only got a couple of carries. Why was that? Was there something going on maybe with him that we weren't privy to from an informational standpoint? Was he hurt? I don't know. Here's what we do know. Dave Montgomery was limited to only 4 carries last week, playing a season-low 17 offensive snaps. Gibbs had 17 carries, by the way, for 37 snaps, including the opening drive where he touched the ball a whopping 10 times against Kansas City Chiefs. And that first drive went real well for the Detroit Lions. No complaints there, but why didn't they rotate him more? Dan Campbell came out and said, well, I think that's something I always try to look at. Lions coach Dan Campbell said we certainly don't want to sit him on the sideline. Either one of them is going to be a big weapon on the field for us, talking about the running backs for the Detroit Lions. Well, I'm not going to read through the entire quotes, but here's what we can probably all agree. Not having Dave Montgomery in the game more is probably hurting the offense. You can say what you want. They are very different running backs, but both of them very impactful. It sounds like the Lions are going to try to unleash a far more balanced attack this week than they had last week. And that's probably good news for the Detroit Lions offense that, didn't look its best at times last week. First quarter, I thought they looked good. Maybe you could say part of the third quarter, but overall, most Lions fans would say that second quarter and the majority of last week's third quarter against Kansas City Chiefs looked very bland, not very aggressive for the Detroit Lions offense. Lions offense is good when they are aggressive, and they weren't that last week. Sounds like they're going to try to get both guys in here. Could we see a split backfield? I guess we'll only know when we get to Monday Night Football. All right, next to the 5 glorious headlines now. Detroit Lions players furious at NFL Films video on Brian Branch. Quote, can't trust, end quote, the league by Dave Burkett, Detroit Free Press. This really came to a head yesterday. We'd had the video on it. I'm sure you guys seen it and 40 billion other different channels, networks, or whatever. But reporters had a lot more opportunity to talk to the Lions players as a totality yesterday. And yeah, it didn't go well. Lions players basically just came out and said, like you can see, can't trust them. And DJ Reader was one of those guys talking about it ad nauseum with reporters, saying, man, if you're willing to do that against us when you're coming off a questionable game where you didn't fly or get Kansas City even called for a penalty, on top of everything else, we know about the call down from New York to take away Goff's touchdown. It was just a bad week for the NFL. And if you felt like they had a grudge against the Detroit Lions, yesterday's video about Brian Branch probably just took that to a whole new level. Lions players, there's no way around it. They are chomping at the bit to get back on the field. And while they're not directly taking it out at the NFL front offices, they're probably going to unleash some of that fury on the Bucs. You go through everything to the point where, man, this really got he said, she said type stuff. That's what I didn't like about it. Like I said earlier, you probably could have done just a video on this. Louis Riddick, who voiced the video for it, started pointing fingers at the NFL. The NFL pointed fingers at him. Both entities then pointed fingers at producers for NFL films. So everybody's trying to put blame on somebody else. Here's what we do know. The Detroit Lions players are all pointing at one person. It's not Louis Riddick. It's the NFL. There's a growing sentiment over in Detroit that something this week has really caused Roger Goodell, the NFL front offices, to bear down on the Detroit Lions. Again, there was some other information that came out after this yesterday that just like, man, can the NFL get out of their own way? And I didn't want to do yet another video on it, but for those who don't know, the NFL put out a piece about punching the ball out as a defender. They make sure you're punching the ball and not the offensive player. And what do? They targeted Jack Campbell, the only player mentioned in that memo. And again, could have made a video about this, but I just didn't want to do it, is Jack Campbell. So once again, you've had such a weak NFL targeting the Detroit Lions on so many different things. You went down your way to mention yet another Detroit Lion in some odd situation. This thing's got so much going on with it. I don't even know where to go with it as a full story. But here's what Dan Skipper talked. So many different Lions players talked about it. Alex Anzalone talked along with Meek Robinson to Dave Burkett of Free Press. And let's just face it, the Detroit Lions now feel more than perhaps ever in their franchise that it is Detroit versus the NFL. Detroit versus Roger Goodell. This thing, I think, is going to be around all season, and who knows, maybe it is some sort of galvanizing force that really brings the Lions team, fan base, ownership all in one direction, and that's on a collision course to get to the Super Bowl. We'll be covering this, I'm sure, more and more as other information comes out over the rest of the season. All right, speaking of this topic, because it won't go away, quote, Brian Branch stood on business, end quote. Cam Newton backs Lions safety amid one-game suspension. The Sports Rush, Tristan Drew Cook, that's a heck of a name, by the way, reporting on this. So Cam Newton, you guys all know, former great NFL quarterback. Now he's a media personality, and he's not the only one who's talked about this. I want to give credit where credit's due. You're hearing people at ESPN. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Fox News, but national media as a whole. Heck, even Skip Bayless was on this one. They're all starting to stand more and more, like Cam Newton says, with Brian Branch. The NFL, as Cam Newton pointed out, didn't stand up for the Lions, didn't stand up for Branch. He allowed Juju to hit him in the back, some other stuff out there. You've had the former quarterback, all-world quarterback Cam Newton talk about. He would have done the same thing. If the refs can't be trusted to police the game, you leave it in the players' hands. And I'm paraphrasing here, but you get it. Cam Newton talked about it, and you've had some other people, former players and current players, talk about this. We mentioned a few of them yesterday. One of them, I don't remember his full name, but he plays for the Indianapolis Colts, played with Juju Smith. And you're also having more and more players, current and former players, also bring up the fact that there's a lot of questions about that Kansas City-Detroit game, and the NFL isn't doing itself any favors by not having officials call things, whatever the different situations this week. It's starting to grow nationally and across the NFL as a whole from team to team. There's a lot of raised eyebrows coming out of all this. Cam Newton, the fact that he was willing to go on the record, on TV, in front of a mic, and I get that's part of his job nowadays, but I think he said what all Lions fans are saying and thinking. You know what? Brian Branch, maybe when the game happened, we saw the fight, we've had some blame at him, but I don't think that's the case anymore. He even went as far as say that he should not be suspended, or Cam Newton said Brian Branch shouldn't be suspended, and I'm probably about 99% in agreement with him. Again, not to rehash everything of the past week, but when you have video evidence showing so many other players doing the same thing and not getting suspended, I don't know how the law or the rules can be applied to one differently than they were to 9 or 12 other people. And that's part of the problem that Cam Newton points out. He thinks that Brian Branch did the right thing by standing up for himself, and that just maybe Juju Smith-Schuster will think second, maybe a little bit more before running his mouth, hitting somebody in the back, doing some of the stuff he did during the game. All right, and then the 5 headlines now. Biggest matchup, Lions must exploit to beat the Buccaneers in Week 7. Clutch points, Doug Fritz with this one. Is there just one thing? I don't know, but here's what we do know when analyzing this game. The Lions, we've already talked about, their secondary is going to be a little shorthanded. What do you got to do? You got to put points on the board. Take some stress and pressure off the defense. They tried to do that, control the clock last week. Unfortunately, they didn't score enough points, and yes, the Kansas City Chiefs eventually pulled away. Well, that also being said, let's make no bones about it. The Lions' offense was lackluster for the most part during that Chiefs game. They're going to have to do more this week. And I think this reporter's spot on when they talk about it. The Lions need to go out there and spread the ball around, move it around, be aggressive, be assertive, get Dave Montgomery more and more involved than he was last week. Lions are at the best when they do have a 1-2 punch in the backfield. You get that, I get that. Let's not beat it up. We also get that Jameson Williams and St. Brown need to have more consistent games. Last week's game was probably the first time I can at least remember that Amon-Ra St. Brown just wasn't himself. Maybe it was the wrist. Maybe it was, credit to Kansas City Chiefs. Whatever it was, that game needs to be in the past and needs to move forward from here. Is there just one thing that probably stands out? Maybe not, but one of the biggest burdens we'll see from the Detroit Lions standpoint is that secondary. Whoever plays is going to have to help shut down Baker Mayfield. He is currently the number one person to be in the MVP conversation. He's playing lights out. He's mobile. He's got a cannon for arm. He's not afraid to risk it. Mayfield, Cleveland may forever regret letting him go, but it is what it is. Tampa Bay has been the winners of the Mayfield sweepstakes. They took a chance on him, and he's paid off in droves. Lions also are going to have some faith in their offense and they'll open it up because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, while they're a little bit beat up here and there, they're nowhere near the defense that the Lions have right now as far as the amount of injuries. You know what? Jared Goff, let him unleash the fury. Let him open up. He's got a ton of weapons. See what he can do. All right, all that done, set out of the way. Let's get on over to the main topic of the day. All right, main top of the day. You saw it in the thumbnail. MCDC kind of confirmed what we're all fearing. This is a big game for the Detroit Lions. The Lions do not want to lose a second straight game, something they haven't done in years under MCDC, and they're willing to perhaps, if the Lions would have won last week, let me throw this at you guys. Do you think they would be trying to rush Taylor Decker or Terry Arnold back into the game this Monday night? I think not. You don't have to have that thought. I don't think they would. I think they would have said, if we go into the bye 5-2, we're good. Let some of these guys rest up. Maybe Kirby Joseph rests up, but that's not the case. All indications are Joseph, while he hasn't practiced this week, is going to return to this game. I don't think that's a big shock to anybody. Taylor Decker, while if we would have won last week, they probably would keep him on the sideline this week, but not so much. He has gone limited practice all week. In fact, let's bring up some practice reports for both teams, give you guys some visual representations of things. All right, Buccaneers. Start off with Levante David. Hey, no practice. Probably a good thing for Detroit. Even though he might be 4,000 years old, he's still a threat from the linebacker position. Hey, how about a punter being out for a little bit? Full practice Friday, did not practice on Thursday. You go through the wide receivers. I mean, you got a ton of different injuries for the Bucs. If we're beat up in the secondary, they're just as beat up at the wide receiver position. It's why you see all these guys out, fibula, no practice, etc. They're one of their guards, by the way, Luke Haggard, did not practice this week. Probably not going to play. Running back position, you see both guys listed here. Did not practice Thursday or Friday. Mike Evans, I get it. Hamstring injuries, and they do linger. They limited practice on Thursday. Did not practice yesterday, Friday. If he's not on the field, even for a limited standpoint on Saturday, I guess you can't fully rule him out for Monday night, but I would say probably not looking good. Probably the Bucs have to make a business decision and say, hey, do you really want to put him out there on Monday night, risk re-aggravating that hamstring before it's fully right? If you do that, you can send him back another month and a half. So flip of the coin and say at this point with Mike Evans is going to play. Cornerbacks, the full practice there for McCollum, and then hamstring, full practice for Morrison. I would expect both guys would play. All right, let's go to the Lions side of things. Terran Arnold, limited practice, as we've already mentioned. Joseph, not a surprise here. No practice. But you know what? It doesn't mean... Usually I would say that means somebody's out, but as you guys all know at this point in the season, Kirby Joseph's probably not going to practice much at all this year. Just let that PCL heal up as best he can. Vontae Maddox, not going to, MCDC's already kind of confirmed it. You won't see him until after the bye. DJ Reader, we talked about it in the 5 headlines now. Limited practice yesterday. Did not practice at all on Thursday. If it was me, I would not have him practice at all today. And you know what? Sunday, whether there's a walkthrough or not, just let that back rest. He's a veteran long enough. He doesn't need the reps. Get him out there. Even if it's only 15, 20 snaps on Monday Night Football, he'll be effective, especially since you're going to be rotating in Aleem the Dream McNeil. Sion Vaki, it is a rite of passage since he was drafted. He does not practice. He does not play, but he does still get a paycheck. Not a bad business if you ask me, even though he is a USC guy. Not gonna lie, this draft pick has not worked out as of yet so far for the Detroit Lions. Excuse me, not USC guy. He played against USC, but hey, sometimes I make mistakes. All right, Taylor Decker, shoulder. Good thing is Thursday and Friday, limited participation. I would say at this point, unless something really egregious happens today or tomorrow, he's going to play on Monday Night Football. Zach Cunningham, this will impact special teams and our depth more than anything else, but full practice both days, he's going to be back. And then, of course, you guys already know Aleem the Dream McNeil is back. One other thing I want to throw at you guys before we get more into the main topic of the day. This really has nothing to do with anything other than the recent week with all the events in Kansas City. There have been a number of knuckleheads, as you guys know, watching the live shows or in the comment sections, coming after the Detroit Lions saying, let me know when you win one or whatever. I want to bring this up to you guys. I want to give credit to credit's due. One of the Dew Crew members pointed this out to me. This is the most NFL championships of all time. You guys probably already know this stuff, but maybe some of you don't. The Green Bay Packers have 13 total championships. That's 4 Super Bowls, 9 pre-Super Bowl championships. Chicago Bears, for all the stuff they say in the chat, you know what? You've got one more Super Bowl than us. That's about it. You go through the Giants and everything else. But did you know, even though we haven't won a championship in like 70 years, Detroit Lions are tied for 9th/10th place in the NFL all-time for amount of championships. So while there's a lot of people that throw shade at us, let that also sink in. You're either 9th or 10th, depending on how do you want to split it, what you want to consider a championship. But we'll just, for this sake of this argument, say 10th all-time. And that also means, though, that there are 22 NFL teams that somehow, even though we haven't won a championship in 70 years, they still haven't caught up to us. So, hey, let that sink in. All right, enough of that brief commercial, talk about there. I just want to get that out to you guys because I thought it was funny. But anyways, Buccaneers, Detroit, you guys get it. MCDC has confirmed it with his own lips. This is a big game. Now, how do you know that? Even though every game's a big game according to the coach, players, etc. Again, if you're going to put some of these guys back in the game, that probably tells you all you need to know. Aleem coming back this game versus after the bye, probably a good sign. They need to win this game. They want to win this game. Taylor Decker coming back, same thing. Terran Arnold potentially coming back, same thing. You're putting people on the field where if you would have won at Kansas City, you probably would have rested them this week. But the Lions win this game, you avoid 2 straight losses. You get a big win in the NFC. Let that be a part of the factor too. You win this, you're 5-2. The Bucs are 5-2. You got a tiebreaker over the Bucs. Lions have as much chance as anybody else to win that overall number 1 seed if they decide to push for it. Remember last year, MCDC, when the season was over, said maybe we pushed too much for it. Maybe we should have rested some guys more. I think the Lions, when you look at the schedule, let me bring that up there. After the bye, you guys get it, man. You got the Minnesota Vikings. You got some teams here that none of them are going to be easy. Washington isn't playing great right now, but you know what? They get their quarterback back, Daniels, probably play a little bit better. The Philadelphia Eagles game, hey, that's November 16th. That's a great day to just be anything because that is my birthday, by the way. I think the Philadelphia Eagles aren't maybe currently the same team they were last year. They do have some issues, but that's still going to be a good game. New York Football Giants, they're doing better than I think most people before the season started would have anticipated. Probably don't have to point this one out to anybody. The Green Bay Packers on Thanksgiving, that is going to be a monumental big game. Lions win that game. In my opinion, you're probably number 1 in the NFC North. and you've got a little bit of wiggle room in the schedule. You lose that game, man, it's going to be an upward battle to try to get back to the first place in the NFC North. Dallas Cowboys, their offense is playing well, their defense not so much. Probably don't have to point this out to any Lions fan anywhere. The Matt Stafford Bowl, I mean, even though it's kind of a beat-up story by this point, let's also be real. National media is going to be hyping it up. Lions, versus Rams, Goff versus Stafford, yada, yada, for the 18th time we've heard it. And then you get old man Rodgers. Hey, how about that? And the Pittsburgh Steelers before closing out with the Minnesota Vikings. And then, Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears. What do you think, Duke Crew? How big of a game is it Monday night? Am I wrong to be thinking as a coach that you're putting guys out there that maybe you should give them a little bit more rest, but you can't risk losing this game? In my personal opinion, doesn't have to be your opinion, when you get to the end of the season, that final week, let me bring that back up, against the Chicago Bears, I do think you're going to have a lot of teams fighting to just be in the playoffs. And if you're not careful, the difference between the Lions being in the playoffs, being the winners of the NFC North, probably going to come down to those last 2 weeks. So if you throw this game away or don't put up your best effort, you're not helping yourself when you get to that game. My opinion, there's a whole lot of haves and have-nots in the NFL this year. It's not nearly as balanced as it has been the last, say, 3 to 4 or 5 years. And I think the Lions are going to be in a dogfight, not just for seeding, but to make the playoffs. And I think the difference between making it and being the number one seed, probably only going to be a game or two. All right, Duke Crew, I probably rambled on too long about all this stuff, but let's get over to you guys. What do you think about the NFL? Man, what a bad week for them. And now you come out and give a memo to all 32 NFL teams about trying to punch the ball out. Make sure you're punching the ball out and not punching the offensive player. And the only player you list on the memo is Jack Campbell of the Detroit Lions. I would think, maybe you got a different opinion, I would list any other team other than Detroit in that memo, if you want to use an example. Because with all the stuff this week, man, it's just like, can you stop getting in your own way? The NFL, man, I don't know what's going on this week, but I ain't never seen nothing like this. All right, Michael D, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and Duke Crew, exclamation points, one pride. Oh, yeah, I'll take all the above. Michael, hey, always a pleasure to see you in the chat. JDC, morning all. Morning, JDC. Rip Ace. Yeah, Fraley, I did see that, was it like a day or two ago? And man, yeah, one of the great guitarists. He's probably really the first guitarist I can remember as a kid, somewhere in the 70s. Like, man, this guy can really do well on a guitar. And, of course, we all know, like, some of the movies of Kiss. I mean, they were legendary for a while there. So here, let's get this done Monday night. No excuses. We got this. I like the way you're thinking, as always, my friend. Good to see you in the chat. Greetings, salutations, Drew Crew family, and always with you. Riley, man, you are way early this morning, Riley. Good morning, all. Back at you with an exclamation point. Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. Big game Monday. Yes, it is. Looks like Evans will be back for the Bucs. Was hoping he would be. Well, if you're hoping he would be, he might be. Not confirmed yet. I'd say if he's out there, even limited today for the Bucs, he's probably going to play. Johnny L, good morning, folks, and to you, JDC. Save all the drama for your mama. Go Lions! Exclamation point. Man, we have been drama-filled this week. It is, man, it's been like a soap opera. Silver, good morning, everybody. And to you, Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. This is nothing, there is nothing to fear but fear itself. Woo! And hey, I would agree with that. So, Simone, I've come to notice there are a lot of negative Detroit Lions pods. Why is that, question mark? I watch some of them and get depressed, laughing out loud. I don't know. I mean, I know sometimes we point out different stuff. So Micro Mike, I think, is pretty even. Shout out to Micro Mike, by the way, the Godfather. Derek, I think everybody watches this show, or Lions fan, if you watch, Lions Syndicate, he might be the most passionate dude on the mic ever. I mean, he does not hold back, and you got to give him props for that. And there's so many good podcasters out there. We talk about on this show, Kurt Steele. He might be the voice of reason amongst the Lions community. He's just pretty even-keeled out there. He's good at analytics and all that stuff. Gosh, I mean, you got Avery, Spirit Detroit, man. You got, Johnny Gas Sports. There's probably, Ant-Man and everybody over across the pond. But there's just so many good podcasters. We really are blessed as a fan base to have so many good ones. So Smoke, you are not one of the negative ones, Coach. I try to be pretty positive most things in life. Jessica, good morning, Duke Crew, exclamation point, and back at you. Lauren, good morning, Coach Dan, and the world-famous Duke Crew with an exclamation point, and back at you, my friend. Hey, don't be afraid to shout out your new channel, by the way. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan of the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! It's going to be a great time to be a Lions fan Monday night, let me tell you. JDC, so small long because that is the other podcast with Mindset. And besides, it's not easy being a content Lions fan. No, I'd say it's a whole lot easier the last 5 years than it was like the prior 15 or 20. I mean, covering when I would cover for the newspapers, whatever, the million years, you had to be pretty creative with your positivity. Big Daz, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Oh, yeah. We are a little better off than last year. We've got Hutch and Aleem. I would concur. All the linebackers are at least a couple of DBs. We might be all right on D and big off. Okay, I'm down with that. Johnny L., I totally agree with you, Sosmo, and all the AI stuff is not good. Yeah, the AI stuff, it is getting harder to distinguish between some. A year or two ago, it was fairly easy to say, yeah, that's AI, but not so much anymore. Gosh, who was it? Somebody from the Lions was talking about when the Brian Branch video first came out. They were like, oh, that can't be real. It's got to be AI. And then they found out, man, that is real. How's that possible? Lauren, Coach Dan is positive, Pete. That's why. That would be accurate. Yeah, give props to the Mountain Dew for that. JDC, I ain't scared. Go Lions with an exclamation point. Susan Scott, I don't think Coach Dan is negative about much in life. No, I try to be pretty positive, man. He doesn't have that feel about him. I think I've shared this story before. The first time I went skydiving, went with a bunch of buddies. They jumped out first. And I was doing a ripcord jump. So for those who never skydived before, you can do a tandem jump. You're stuck to somebody's stomach. They jump out. They open up. Your coach opens up the chute for you. Ripcord jump. It opens up when you're about I think it's 100 feet from the plane. And I've locked up there, and the trainer or an instructor put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Hey, if it doesn't open, look at the bright side. You got 12 seconds to complain." Pushed me out, and that always kind of stuck with me. All right, JDC Puff. Woo! Coffee and Lions Talk Live with an exclamation point. Big Eddie. Yeah, Johnny, the AI videos and stories are getting out of hand. I will agree with that. Jess, do we know yet if Arnold is back for Monday? Not for sure, but it does look like it's trending that way. I mean, again, let's bring this back up here. The fact that Arnold practiced yesterday, limited as it may be, if he's out there again today, that's probably making it more and more firm that he could go. Johnny O, we will win this game. I like the way you're thinking. Hookadoo, good morning, Duke Crew. Monday will be the day that will live in infamy, Bo. Hey, I see what you did there. And I know the quote from Pearl Harbor. Jess, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. Well, I am positive we need to win this game at home and against Tampa Bay. Their O will have to carry us again. I would think you might have some legitimacy thinking that. Hookadoo, good morning, Johnny O. Grit will win, exclamation point. Henry, sorry I wasn't in the chat yesterday. It's okay, my friend. My friends, but I was playing Lions Talk Live, loud and strong in the VA's waiting room and getting the skin cancer frozen. Woo! Hey, hopefully that went well for you, my friend. Hopefully it was a good visit. JDC, we will be looking at a knockdown, drag-out fight on Monday night. Go Lions with an exclamation point. I think you're right. Drake, if we are going to play Decker and Arnold, I think that's a sign how important the game really is. Yeah, probably. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Heading into the gym, so just listening in. Go Lions. Hey, get ready for your next fight if that's what you're doing. Johnny L, we need this win for real. I agree. Hookadoo, load the cannons, Duke Crew. We have a pirate ship to sink with a 53-man crew. Exclamation point. Oh, yeah. You know what? I should have thought of that. That's good. Good eye for that there, Hookadoo. Big Daz. To the Greatest Lions podcast with our leader, Coach Dan. Exclamation point. Great. I'll take that. But you know what? The Duke Crew makes it great. France, Coach does a pretty good job of keeping things fair and real. Yeah, I think MCDC, he's just about as straightforward as you can probably get with any of the coaches in the NFL. If he thinks it, he's going to say it. He doesn't really hold back, and that maybe got him in some trouble with the NFL. 5 fingers ready. I need a coffee. Just woke up. Haven't woke up yet. Hey, get that coffee or that dew. Trim Reaper, good morning, Coach Dan, the Mighty Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Let's go, Lions. Woo! And back at you. Bo, Hookadoo. We do these things and the others not because they're easy. Right? Yeah, we're keeping on with that. JDC, I will, quote, work out vicariously through you, Steph. Exclamation point. Have a great one. There you go. Johnny L, I'm feeling on that one. 5 fingers. Trim Reaper, Johnny L, what up? Steve Rogers, hey, Trim got a wrench. He did get a wrench. Yeah, especially after yesterday's shenanigans. Johnny L, what's going on with you, Trim? We'll find out. JDC, Motor City Duke Crew, always rules. Big Daz, we have a game. We have to have a gunslinger Jared Goff to have a great game. Maybe you are correct on that. Could be correct on that. Trim Reaper, we had a troll in here yesterday. I didn't see you here the last couple of days, Johnny. Yeah, was he here? I don't remember. Johnny L. Sonic and Knuckles, baby. Oh, yeah. I'll go with that with some exclamation points. Trina and Christina Conway, good morning on this Saturday. Everyone have a safe and blessed day. Go Lions. Woo! And back at you, Hookadoo. The Detroit Lions were suddenly and deliberately attacked by the NFL boat. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Johnny L. is laughing. Detroit D with some exclamation points. Good morning, Duke Crew. And back at you, my friend. Always a pleasure to have you. Jedi Sith Decker looks good to return this game. Thankful for that. Yeah, that offensive line. And not that Dan Skipper did poorly by any stretch of the imagination, but Decker should be an upgrade. JDC Magic 8 Ball says, don't be a tot. Okay. Anymore, all I can say about the NFL is car maker will bite them in their fourth point of contact. Whew, all right, I'll go with that. Sure, remember, I'm thinking Detroit rebounds heading into the bye. I would like that indeed. I think all Lions fans would. Tori Apple, if TA and KJ can play, I'll feel much better about this game. Probably most Lions fans will. Johnny L, we got this. I like the way you're thinking. Henry, Karma, stupid autocorrect. It happens, man. I was figuring that's where you were going, but I wasn't 100% sure. Hookadoo, there you go, JDC. You haven't said anything about that Magic 8 Ball lately, so we need Jason's Tree of Destiny for extra grip. We'll see if he can provide that with an exclamation point. JDC, laughing out loud. Drum Reaper, having TA back would be huge. I would agree. Johnny, I love it here. We love, and I think everybody in the Duke crew loves being here. JDC loves Lions football. I would agree. Hookadoo, hey, where's Timmy today? Drum Reader has a wrench. Yes, indeed. Phil, good morning. And back at you. How you doing today, Phil? Hookadoo Trim. James, how do you get a blue wrench? Just make somebody a mod. That's what I do. Let's see. Good morning, Hookadoo, says Trim. Robert, greetings, and back at you. Hookadoo, Dan has to make you a moderator. Yeah, probably could make one or two other ones a moderator. That way, nobody feels like they got to be here all the time. Trim Reaper is laughing. Hookadoo, we needed you yesterday with Timmy the Todd. All right, Toad, how about that? Lauren, Dan Adamas was in the house. Jennifer, good morning. All back at you. Ken, good morning. Duke Crew, woo, back, and same to you. Johnny L, there he is. Trim Reaper, Dan Adamas has spoken. That might be true. Dora K, who else is scared to play against the Bucs? I think we're all right. I mean, it'll be a good game. How about that? I don't think anybody's going to deny that, but I think we're going to come out. JDC, not near that. Yep, it could be. Harry Smith, good morning, Duke Crew. Well, we made it to the weekend. How's everybody feeling about Monday night? Hey, Dan Adamas feels like we're going to pull out a close one. We're going to do Dan Adamas live and in color. Bold Dude Crew, I'll concur. Lauren, Jake Bates, walk-off field goal. Yes, from 83 yards, I think it was. JDC Adora K, I ain't scared. Go Lions with an exclamation point. Ken, I think Lions will win by double digits. That would make it a lot easier on a lot of us. James, good morning, Mary. Bo, 7 yards. Hey, he's rambling and scrambling. King SJ, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. And back at you, as always. Amy, good morning. Greetings, salutations are ultra fabulous Duke Crew and wonderful Coach Dan. Back at you, Amy. Hopefully having a great one with an exclamation point. Same old suit, just reheated. DeAndre Swift, questionable. Who did thunk it? Yes, he's been questionable most of his career. Ken Baker will be on the ground a few times in this game. You know, Aiden Hodgson probably should have mentioned it earlier. He doesn't have a history of getting to Baker Mayfield. Let's hope he continues that trend. Mary James Hookadoo, good morning. Trim Reaper, crazy legs could go for nearly 10 yards. Oh, yeah, with an exclamation point. Hookadoo, good morning. Queen Mary, I'm feeling good about Monday. Grit will be through the roof. Hey, gotta love that. Subject Scrutinizer, greetings, sanitation, Coach and Duke Crew. Woo! Silver, Mary Smith, good morning. JDC, Dre Ford's rocks and he rolls. Who's going to the game? I know there are a few people have mentioned they're going to the game. I know a bunch of my neighbors are already on their way to the game. They live over in Detroit. So, yeah, it'll be a packed house, I'm sure. Xavier, good morning, Coach Day and the Duke Crew. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Exclamation point. Lions 42-21 over Tampa Bay. Woo! I would take that in a heartbeat. Mary, hope so. Hookadoo, this past week has really given me an unsettling and trust in the NFL. Yeah, and since we got the bye week next week, yeah, I'm going to be, trying to talk about that a little bit. Johnny L, good morning. Amy and Mary, back at you. Hookadoo. Silver caught a wave into the Duke Crew. Oh, yeah. Mary Smith, good morning, Silver. Mary, good morning, Johnny. Trim Reaper, there's something about Mary, probably accurate. Same old soup. Has anyone know where I can find free Brian Brand shirt? Question mark. Saw Lions post it yesterday. That I don't know offhand. So the problem is the same error, bad taste, no style, no respect. NFL films failed in that as well. Yeah, and the fact that later on yesterday, and I didn't want to go on air about it again, but the fact that all three entities, really behind the production, start pointing fingers at each other, yeah, that's not a good look, man. Somebody just step up and say, hey, it was my bad. Hookadoo. I kind of had that same feeling, a reprisal to everything stirred up last week. True. Silver, hookadoo. Mary, good morning, Trim Reaper. It's always something about the Queen. Ooh, there you go, Thomas. I said this the moment we went to 17 games. The NFL needs to have 2 bye weeks. I would agree with that. Maybe about every 6 weeks or, roughly. You can't get everybody on 6 weeks, but somewhere in that time frame, you get a week off. You got Mary Smith. I'm not sure there's anyone at any level of any kind of power that can be trusted these days. That might be true. Xavier, you always have an awesome show! Exclamation. Thanks for being a great host. I do the best I can. It works for some. It doesn't work for everybody. That's part of life. JDC, getting real in the knee. Go Lions. Back at you with an exclamation point. Jim Raybear, you're saying there's a chance. There's always a chance, right? Silver Thomas, 2 bye weeks wouldn't be bad at all. No, I think the players would love it 100%. Plus, the NFL, I'm surprised they don't do it just from a marketing standpoint. You extend the season probably at least another week, maybe 2. And, that'd probably be ideal for them just because you keep those commercials coming in, keep the games going. Mary, Egon, agreed? Thomas, if Montgomery, I was asking this Tuesday morning, why was he only given 4 carries? I hope and pray OC is not phasing him out. That would be ridiculous. Yeah, it's a big question. We'll have to see what kind of answers we get Monday night. Trim Reaper, hail to the Queen. I concur. Thomas, SS is just the troll for the human body in the NFL season. Brings in the need for the 2 bye weeks, so you extend the season 1 week. I think the players would appreciate it after every 6 games. Yeah, something like that would probably work out very well. Silver, start David Montgomery, coach, exclamation point. Coach Campbell, that is. All right. The central scrutinizer, I like to see the return of Knuckles starting to the running back, soften up the defense, just like last season, in my opinion. Could be what they do. JDC, tick, tick, tick. Woo! Time, exclamation point. Thomas, remember against KC Knuckles, we were running the ball well. We should have done even more of it. It was almost like they were forcing to throw the ball. All right. Xavier, did those refs get suspended, coach? I did hear something about that, although, to be honest, I didn't confirm it this morning. Johnny O, you watch, there will be no penalties against us. Wouldn't that be something? Silver, Thomas, you got to spread those bye weeks. You can only rest so many teams every given week. Correct with that. Miles Mark, greetings, salutations, coach and crew. Back at you. Mary, Xavier, I was wondering about that same. Big D, morning crew, and same with you, Trim Reaper. The media is trying to get me excited for Hendrickson, but I think it's going to be Cam Jordan, the Lions grab before the deadline. Hey, I'd be all right with either guy. I get Trey Hendrickson would be the bigger name and splash, but Cam Jordan, I don't think, even at this point in his career, I think he would offer some value. JDC is Robert. Holy what? I'm down with that. Mary, good morning, Big D. Thomas, Silver, you rotated half the league after 7 games and the league after the 6th game, then later after the 13th game or the 12th game. Not that hard. All right. Is tarnishing the shield. Yes, the NFL is, Michael. I think it hasn't been a good week for them. Xavier, Mary, I think they did. Exclamation point. Johnny L. Yes, they did. Xavier. Manbear, good morning. Back at you. Big Belly Lou. The NFL just trying to have a reason to complain about something they couldn't get. It might be accurate. Mary, thanks, guys. Thomas, every time I see Cam Newton speaking about the Lions, he loves the Lions. It does seem like he's got a good opinion on them. Hookadoo, did anybody see South Park cartoon going around on Facebook about the KC game? I've seen it. Yeah, a bunch of you guys have shared tidbits of it. Coach Tiny K, hey, you haven't seen you in a minute, Coach. Hey, Coach and Duke Crew, exclamation point, back at you. Cynthia, good morning, everyone. Same to you. Johnny L, yes, I did. Hookadoo. Xavier, hope they get Trey at deadline. I wonder if they will. Dale, good morning, Coach and crew. Another team not happy with the NFL this week. Tampa Bay, our Lions will be roaring loudly Monday night. Oh, yeah, with an exclamation point. Thomas, Cam Newton is right. I'm back. Brian Branch. Also, what happened to him is almost criminal. It's almost like there's agenda in play. Johnny L., it was hilarious. Henry Moore, oh, yeah, Hookadoo, they were hilarious. They were indeed. Mary Smith, Hookadoo, that was hilarious. Got a laugh out of me. Well, it did its job. Then free for all. Won't be sweet when Goodell has to hand Holmes and Campbell that Lombardi trophy. Won't that be something on the stage? Central scrutinizing the NFL films about Brian Branch was a slap in the face of every player in the NFL. If they did it to Brian Branch, a player is safe from that. No player is safe from that, indeed. Trim Reaper, Brian Branch was just doing the Lord's work. Yes, indeed. Hookadoo, Miles Marker. How is it the great Northern Michigan? Mr. Grit, we'll find out. Aaron Green, instead of calling it the peanut punch, they need to call it the Tillman tackle. Yeah. And you know what? Nobody thought anything about it when Tillman was doing it for all those years. Henry Morris, someone should send it to Coach. A couple of you guys have. Egon, Cam gets it. He's been through the media ringer and then knows what it's like to get a raw deal. Correct with that. Thomas, just remember on the Brian Branch incident, the rep threw a flag. Branch doesn't do what he does. Pretty simple and extremely obvious. Yeah, if the refs would have thrown the flags, I think a lot of it would have been, no-fly zone and just say the refs handled it. Chef, opinions are like people. We all got them. Agreed? Bo, it's raining up here, Hookadoo. I think it's supposed to rain where I'm at today and tomorrow quite a lot. Lions, do or die. Greetings, salutations, Coach and Duke Crew. Monday, I think not. It's one to remember for the Lions. I think it will be a good game for us. Johnny L., I think I did. Henry, Thomas, what's really terrible and worst of all, Juju blindsided Branch and got zero penalty or financially either. That is sickening. I got to imagine they're almost forced to step up and do something about it. Dale, Derek Barnes ready for another pick of Baker. Might be true. William, the NFL is going after Campbell for punching the ball out. Correct, they did. The Train Reaper, I was thinking Derek Barnes had a big day against the Bucs as well. Let's hope he does. Mary Smith, they want to suspend Brian Branch because they want us to fail and have a team that's built on grit makes them even grittier. Yes, you've probably added a little fuel to the Lions' fires. Pat, think we beat down Tampa Bay. Lions players are ready to show refs won't decide who wins. Let's flipping go. I like the way you're thinking. Hookadoo. Oh, boo. JD, what up, though, Coach? What's going on with you, Jay? How's your morning going? Miles Meyer, Hookadoo. Hiya, Hookadoo. Let's go to Adrian with light rain. It's beautiful. How's Toledo this morning? Question mark. Thomas, love to see a reporter ask KC head coach on Juju. Is what it is. Is that what you teach? Then why do you think Juju isn't at least fine? All right, Mo, what up, though, Coach and Duke Crew? Exclamation point. Xavier, tackle Mayfield by the ankles. Might have to. Hookadoo, it's going to be sunny and in the low 80s, Mr. Grit. So today, Mr. Grit. Let's see, funny here, 524. Scotty Montgomery answered it when a reporter asked about Demo. He basically said Demo helped Ja, and Ja helps Demo. That's why they used it in the run so effectively. They feed each other. Yes, they do. Dennis, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew, back at you. Trim Reaper, do you know what happened to people who watch Lions Talk Live and don't hit the like and subscribe button? Do you? Question mark. Lions, do or die? It's time for Roger Goodell to go. I am sure he can find a job with one of his buddies. Probably true. Thomas, why are we not at least once a half going deep with Waymo? Spread that D. We'll see if they do that in the future. Remember, you just made the list. Okay. Kim would like to see an interview with KC players and coaches, see how they feel to be on the team that the NFL thinks not very good, that they give them wins. They don't earn them. Yeah. There was somebody, I don't remember the person's name, but somebody on one of the shows yesterday who was a KC fan. I want to say they said they have been for like a long time. And they were like, yeah, while they thought they would win, they don't like having the asterisk around it. So my suspicion is there's at least a portion of the KC fan base that views what the NFL is doing is not right, and they don't want to win that way. So who knows, though. Miles Barker, Hookadoo, what that warm sounds nice. Might be. Aaron, Roger Goodell is the only commissioner or person that gets booed at a draft. Might be very, very accurate. Hookadoo, I was like number 3 this morning at Trim. JD, man, I'm having a rough week with this send button. Exclamation point. Just wanted to say the Lions are going to unleash the fury on the Bucs all night long. I hope you're right with that with a woo! Exclamation point. Johnny L. Right as the storm here in Michigan. True. Miles Meyer laughing out loud. JD, Manbera is thumbing up. Hookadoo. Yeah, until tomorrow, Miles Meyer. Trim Reaper, you just unmade the list. There you go. Thomas, I don't play Decker. Why? Skip proved he's still solid at left tackle. Give Deck 2 more weeks off. Bring him back 100% for the run. We'll see if that's what they do. Cynthia, in your opinion, the Lions would be so good for morale and the catalyst for winning the season and the way to the Super Bowl. Exclamation point. I know you agree. There you go. Johnny L, yes, I do. Mary Smith, expecting rain, thunderstorms today and tomorrow sets my mood. Okay. Goodell is a Swiftie. That might be accurate. Lions do or die. Terry Burke. Hey, Lucy, you got some explaining to do? True. Mary Smith, Cynthia, good morning. And yes, it would. Egon, if the Eagles beat the Bucs, so can we. I like the way you're thinking. Hookadoo. This bye kind of makes me nervous. Last year, we had almost the same time off, and we came back rusty and lost. Now, let's hope we don't do that this year. Thomas, key to this game is getting after Baker Mayfield like the Chiefs did to Goff, correct? Central Scooters, this game is important. Bring the noise in. Go into the bye week with confidence and a W. Yes, that W would be nice. JDC, born and bred to rip and shred. Go Lions with an exclamation point. Robert, that Monday night game will with a Buccaneers could be very well be a tiebreaker. We must have this for the division round and beyond. Yeah, I agree with you fully on that. Oh, there you go, Robert. Jason, this is a big game. We've got this. I like the way you're thinking. Cynthia, good morning, Queen Mary, exclamation point. JDC, I agree, Jason. It's a good as it got. Let's go get it. Hey, that's 1973. They give us the toughest schedule in the NFL and play against the refs and the league. Really starting to believe this is fixed. The fix is in. Let's hope it's not, my friend. Sir, Coach, do you remember what you said a couple weeks ago? Question mark. Quote, if it was up to me, I'd play Aleem the week before the bye and get his feet wet and get an extra week to pull it together. So it went. Yeah, and that's apparently what they're going to do. And I like it just because give them some snaps, see how the body responds. Do what you got to do over the 2 weeks to get them ready for the next game. Good morning to everyone. We need a Lions victory and a Sheila. Woo! You want a Sheila Woo? I'll give you a Sheila Woo. I just got to scroll down the stream. 1, 2, 3. And there you go. Dolo, it would be, I would have listed the same San Francisco when they, him, Kyron Williams. Okay. Hoodoo, I'm looking at Monday as a must-win game. Lions will roar. Let's roar into the end zone with a victory. Hit, yes, and there you go, Dolo. Reversion of the mean, Detroit versus everybody just got even realer. You might be fully accurate with that. Dale, that's a Bush League of the NFL, specifically naming Captain Jack. Yeah, another bad look by the league. Yeah, they've already had a lot of bad looks this week with the Detroit Lions for sure. Thomas, play him. Decker, no. TA, no. Fair enough with an exclamation point. JDC, from the deep end of the pool, Lions 15-2. Go Lions. Hey, wouldn't that be something? Michael, oops, Sheila, laughing out loud. Egan, we've got this. The D line has to have a good game and get after Baker. Also, good morning, Coach, and good morning to you. Cynthia, this game, all eyes are going to be on those refs. Man, might be true. Reality Mike, morning, Duke Crew. Woo! And back at you. How's Florida this morning, my buddy? Dolo, whatever that guy talking about Lions podcast is couldn't be a Lions fan. You might be true with that. The Rebel, good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew, and same to you, Mary. Cynthia, I think we're going to tread lighter. How about that? Dolo Dynamite, Dan, you definitely can't forget everything. Or Dose of Dion. You know what? I should have thought about, Dose of Dion. That's my bad. My bad indeed. And Everything King. Yeah. Hey, caramba. Yeah. I'm missing the mark this morning. Miles Marker. Good morning, Reality Mike and the Rebel 08. Cynthia. Smith, Mary Smith, more for sure. Exclamation point. Cynthia, the game has a Super Bowl vibe to me. Ooh, good call there. Central Scrutinizers. The Lions are the anti-hero. Time to go get the Sony Turbo and the rest of the league. It takes more grit. Hey, got to have grit to win. The Rebel 8, I love the position that the Lions are in right now. We'll go with that. Pat, I think Monday night game will be a smash mouth football game. Lions got something to say, and they think they are going to say it on the field. Let's flipping go. Yeah, I concur. Miles Bar, MC, DC knows when the storm flies and the wind blows on the steady pace. Okay. JK, taking acid is a bit in need. The Lions win for else. Okay. JD, exclamation. I don't know about the Street Fighter Sony Chaba. All right. The Rebel fighting for the number one spot in the NFC. Nice. Yes, we are. Mark Morning, Dan, the Lions, 27 bucks, 24 Monday night. Wouldn't that be something? As long as we win, I'm happy, man. JDC, big thanks, Coach Dan, for another Lions Talk Live episode that makes me want to hold my head up high, and a shout out, to the rest of the world. Hey, go shout out, to the world. Remember, Lions win 27-24. Oh, yeah, exclamation point. Jennifer, hit the like button, hit all the buttons if you would. Amy, Dan, I will go to my reward of a Virgin Sky driver. Gosh, I knew you did lots of stuff, but you surprised me today. Go Lions, always. Hey, no problem with that. Yeah, skydiving, I think is what it means. Yeah, skydiving. Yes, I enjoy it. Let's see. Money Boss Bag Boy. No Fun League wouldn't target the Lions in another primetime spot for the second week in a row, would they? Find out. Reality Mike, Lions equals victory with an exclamation point. I'm done with that. The Rebel buckle up for this Monday night game against the Bucs. Go check them out, and we'll get it. Thomas, Arm Russell to like y'all. Thank you for that. Lions Fanatic Burger Time. Good morning, Coach. Hope all is well with the Lions, and same to you. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal week, my friend. Good morning, Hookadoo. JDC, hey, Burger Time. Dolo Dynamite. Now everyone sees how important TA is. Yeah, when somebody's out and you don't see the same stuff happening on the field, it actually goes down. Probably shows their value, to your point. Money Boss Bag Boy. I'll be watching this game with a punch flag counter on. Okay. Let's see. Hookadoo. Berg, great to see you in the Duke crew. And today, my friend, I agree. It feels like it's been a minute. Good morning, JDC. Hope it's all well, bud. JDC. Yep. Exclamation point. All the buds are well. Same here, bud. Mary, Lions Talk Live. Have a blessed and safe day. See you in the morning. Duty calls. I got to go freeze my butt off for the grandson. Hey, go enjoy the game. Cheer him on. Enjoy every moment. The Rebel. Game within the game. Goff versus Mayfield. Probably true. Strategize. You look younger than that new haircut. Oh, I'll go with that, man. Let's see. Untouchable City Pepper. And thanks for that, by the way. Let's see. For Mayor, go Lions. Woo! I'll take that. The Rebel 08, the NFL is loving the Lions in big stand-alone games just as much as even more than KC. Yeah, it could be. E-Up Pickers, greatest sanitation coach of Duke crew, one pride, exclamation point. The Lions, 42-27, Lions win. I would take that. Motown Mitch says Lions 54, Bucks 24. Man, that would be a heck of a game. Look at a good point, Dan. We all know all too well the NFL is about money making. You're not wrong there. The Rebel NFL loves showcase the Lions. Well, let's hope they showcase a win for the Lions. Terminator report, coach getting pushed out of the plane. I'd be traumatized. It was a moment I'll never forget. We'll go with that. The Rebel, the residuals of being a great team. That could be accurate. Ted, if the refs have done their job, none of this would have happened. I think that the NFL has responsibility to this. I would agree with you fully with that. Bo, first time you pull your own ripcord is something completely different. I don't doubt that at all. Drum Reaper is laughing. JDC, as Rod Sterling introduced the Detroit Lions Monday Night Football, we'll see if that happens. Pat, Ted, you're right. This is all on them. I agree. The Rebel, they just released Trey's asking price. Does anyone know how much it is? Yeah, I doubt if the Bengals will publicly say what it is, but maybe they will. Let's see, Thomas. I know this is where the Lions make the Super Bowl. Not going to be watching the NFL halftime show. Fair enough. Trim Reaper, I'm not sure, but I'm guessing too high for the Dollar General brand. Could be accurate. Kerry, morning. Everyone, back at you. Hookadoo. Thomas, it looks it took 3 weeks last year to find that dude in the Washington game. All right. Hookadoo. Let's see. That gave Goff the illegal hit. Yeah, the guy that gave Goff the illegal hit. Yeah. Trim Reaper, maturity isn't an age. It's a destination. Scott Mitchell was very wise. Jennifer, Campbell needs to take over a little more of the offensive play calling still. Not in on Morton yet. Okay. Hookadoo. Kerry, good morning. Better late than never. Have a cup of grit. Yeah, you got to love your grit in the morning. Thomas, okay. Let's hope and pray they at least do that 50K. I'm hoping it won't happen, but I'd love to see it. All right. Miles Meyer, I'm a Swiftie. Yes, I are. Exclamation point. Anymore. I'll be bowling in my league. I hope they get us all the motivation for a win. I got to imagine the Lions team as a totality is pretty motivated for this game. Kerry, it will be a fine this week. You all will see. Bucs are beat up just as much as us, and we'll have some fresh guys starting this game. Yes, we will. JDC, sit high in the saddle, fellow Lions Talk Livers. I'll take that. Dolo, no, I meant hit that because Kyron Williams fumble from San Francisco player on the peanut punch. Yeah, right. Gotcha. The Rebel Lions make a statement for Branch this game. Exclamation point. I'll take that. Kim, OC needs to unleash all the weapons and not just keep pounding them with those points. Yes, here you go. The Rebel. Good morning back. James, it seems like that the NFL is always picking on the Lions. Man, you ain't wrong there at all. Motown, too many to name all them all. Coach David T. Pike. Yeah. And, again, talk about everything King. He does a great job covering the Lions and the Pistons. Dota Dion, man, I think he might have been the first guy on YouTube that I ever seen, cover a team. And talk about somebody who talks fast, man. That guy, he could be an auctioneer. There's, to your point, yeah, David T. There's so many good content creators out there. I can't list them all, but you guys get it. There's a whole lot to be appreciative for. Pierce, good morning, all. Back at you. Pierce, trim, it is DDI. You got a wrench? Question mark, laughing out loud. Trim, DDI. Yes, maybe. Davenport did it. Kerry, happy trails, new crew. Have a great weekend. Go Blue, go Lions. Thanks, Coach Dan. Woo! And back at you. JDC, happy trails, go Lions. Victory. You got to love it. Andrew, not watching anymore, but good luck, Lions. Hey, we'll take that. We'll try to keep going for the Lions. Dream River, Davenport definitely did. Could be accurate. Pierce, starting to look like last year. I think we got to play our guys this week. Hey, get after it. Hookadoo, see all the trouble DDI can cause. That might be accurate. JDC, congrats, Tim, on the wrench. Henry Moore, have a great day and a glorious weekend, my friends. Exclamation point, same to you. Pierce, Hookadoo, he's too much trouble. James, happy trails, Dan and the Duke Crew. Hope to see you all on the game Monday. Hey, go have a great time with the game. Trim River, trying to do the Duke Crew proud. Woo! Exclamation point. JDC, have to do a double take on the spelling. Hey, man, sometimes I don't spell well. Hookadoo, happy trails, Duke Crew. All one pride worldwide. I'll take that. Miles Meyer, 4-2, one pride with an exclamation point. JDC, my opinion, you do Lions Talk Live proud now, Trim. I'll go with that. Dolo, I trade for Jalen Phillips. Yeah, he's definitely someone on the radar. I wonder if they'll make a move for that, Dolo. JDC, happy trails. Go Lions victory with, yep, and I'll take that. Ted, one pride. Let's go Lions wins. We got this. Bo, happy trails, new crew. All done and dusted for another day. See you tomorrow. We'll see you then. Miles Barger, Grit, Bo Booth, Cynthia. Great job, Dan, reading all this. Exclamation point. Wow. Yeah, sometimes I kind of fumble the ball a little bit, but doesn't mean I would pick it up and run with it. All right, Duke Crew, if there is breaking news later today, I'll get over to you as soon as possible. If you would be so kind before departing, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Have a great day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. Be a good human being. See you on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, all.
Thank you.